The Sunflower in the Shadows, based on a true story, by Reuben Camp White. Sugar, let me tell you something. Life ain't always a picnic in the park. Sometimes it feels more like tripping through a muddy field, each step sinking you further down. Take Clementine Rose. Now that child, she was like a little sunflower trying to peek through a patch of weeds. See, life had dealt her a handful of nothing but low cards and sour lemons. These folks, they ain't got nothing but a whole lot of nothing to offer you. They are looking down their noses, whispering behind cupped hands, saying Clementine Rose ain't this, she ain't that. Said she was too quiet, too fragile, like a butterfly with a broken wing, barely fluttering through the days. They ain't good enough to dust her porch swing, let alone weigh the gold in her gentle soul. Humph, Clementine Rose would sometimes sigh, a tiny puff of air that held a hint of steel beneath the softness. We'll just see about that. She would lie awake at night, the echoes of their whispers circling in her head like buzzing flies, each nasty word leaving a little sting. Trust? Honey, that was a cracked vase she would try to glue back together too many times, the pieces never quite fitting right. Loneliness was a cold draft that snuck under her door at night, chilling her to the bone. Hard times had been a shadow stuck to her heels, never quite letting her step into the full sunshine. And worry? That was a tangled vine growing in her belly, twisting and turning, breathing out fear. She felt like a single raindrop falling in a vast ocean, lost and unseen, while all the other drops seemed to be joining together in mighty waves. Being judged felt like a heavy cloak draped over her shoulders, weighing her down with every glance and every muttered word. Hopelessness was a thick blanket trying to smother the tiny spark of light within her. You spending all this precious time trying to please them sorry souls? Trying to be something they can't even imagine. Child, you got a wellspring of strength inside you, a deep river flowing beneath the quiet surface. They just too shallow, too caught up in their own reflections to see the depths of your spirit. They ain't worthy of the water you carry. Oh, hush your mouth now, her dear Grandma Opal used to say, her voice like warm honey whenever folks showed their ignorance. And Clementine Rose would hold on to that memory like a smooth, comforting stone in her pocket. Forget about their pitiful approval. It's like a wilted petal on a forgotten rose, barely worth a second glance. You a whole blooming garden, a vibrant tapestry woven with resilience, stitched with courage, and waiting for the sunshine of self-belief to make your colors truly sing. They just ain't got the eyes to see the beauty that's unfolding. You got to cherish yourself, sugar, for anybody else can even glimpse the wonder you hold. Now ain't that the truth? Grandma Opal would declare. If you don't water your own roots, how you expect to blossom? One morning, Clementine Rose caught her reflection in the window and something shifted. She saw not the flaws the world had so readily pointed out, but a tiny shoot of determination pushing through the soil of her weariness. It was small, fragile even, but it was reaching for the light. And she decided to nurture it. She started with small acts of kindness towards herself, a warm cup of tea enjoyed in silence, a walk amongst the trees, a quiet moment to just breathe. Each gentle act was like watering that tender shoot. Slowly, gently, the shoot grew stronger. The cold draft of loneliness didn't feel quite so biting. The tangled vine of worry in her belly began to loosen its grip. She started to see her vulnerabilities not as weaknesses, but as soft places where strength could take root. The fear of their judgments began to fade as she realized their opinions were just pebbles thrown in her path, easily stepped over. And the blanket of hopelessness began to fray at the edges, letting in slivers of dawn. So go on, child. Hold your head high. Let your inner sunshine peek through the clouds. Let them choke on their own bitter words. You deserve kindness, sweetness, and a whole field of happiness. You hear me? You a sunflower in the shadows, turning your face towards the light, growing tall and strong against all odds. You a queen, and queens don't beg for the crumbs of validation. They cultivate their own damn gardens. Ain't nobody got the right to dim your shine, Grandma Opal's voice echoed in her heart. Especially not folks who ain't got no light of their own. Clementine Rose finally understood. Her worth wasn't in their narrow views, it was in the strength of her quiet spirit, the tenacity of her gentle heart, and the unwavering belief in the beautiful, resilient woman she was becoming. And sugar, that kind of inner beauty blooms brighter than any rose in the finest garden.